Hello and welcome to our new meeting. This is a kind of a surprise because I want to introduce to you someone and then also speak about the closed circuit in another manner. This gentleman that you see here is Dr. James Philip, the author of the GuessMan interactive computer program learning low flow anesthesia. His program is written in all the serious anesthesia books, and he has been my constant teacher, instructor, and many times critic all along the way. It is due to him that I owe the level of low flow anesthesia I have reached today. Here are his credentials. Please have a look. Impressive. And this is the homepage of his site. I'll underline it for you over here. I added it so you go in and see for yourself what a wonderful resource of teaching and learning there is. Okay, now let's have a look at this classical design of the circle system. I put here guest analyzers on all the slides, but we'll only use it later on in one or two slides. I just leave it here. Don't bother with this at the same time. So we have the fresh gas flow inlet, we have the inspiratory limb, expiratory limb, the T-piece, and all the other things that you are familiar with. Okay, now here the fresh gas flow obviously comes to the patient, then follow the yellow pop-ups, the inspiratory phase, here going to the patient, of course, then the expiratory phase, this one, of course, it's here, and you see the expired gas going obviously back through the expiratory limb. But look here. This is a sample line that goes in a classical setup going through the gas analyzer here, and usually after that going through the scavenger somewhere out. But we have done, if you remember, something very nice. This sample line goes, as I said, to the gas analyzer, but from the gas analyzer, instead of going to the scavenger, we rerouted the measured gases back to the expiratory limb. You remember why to the expiratory limb because the CO2 has to remain here in the absorber. Have a look at this valve. We spoke that the flow of gas we put in the circuit has to be at such a level that everything matches what the patient takes minus the CO2. Everything has to stay inside. If for whatever reason the pressure inside the circuit goes more than the limit we established, then the excess pressure goes out. It's lost. The rest of it returns back to the patient. So what do we have here returning to the patient? We have the rebreathed oxygen. That means the oxygen that initially came from here to the patient but was not consumed. It was just a carrier gas. Then the rebreathed agent that is moving through the circuit and has not been absorbed by the patient anymore. And no rebreathed CO2 because, as you see, CO2 remains in the absorbent. So another phase, fresh gas and rebreathed oxygen agent, and everything moves around in a circle. Think that if we could match exactly the oxygen consumption of the patient and the leaks, inevitable leaks of the machine, the surgeon, we spoke about it, then theoretically, once the brain, let's make a small brain over here, it looks like a loaf of bread rather, but never mind. Then when the brain is saturated, we could eventually turn the vaporizer off. But what we need to do in this phase, once again, once the brain is saturated, is only to compensate for the leaks. Otherwise, nothing should be added unless we want to fill the whole body like we saw in the previous video. Don't look here at the currency in itself. Just look if we don't turn the flows down, the more the flows go up, the more we waste gases. Isoflurane is obviously a little bit cheaper, never mind the issue. Higher flows means higher loss, higher costs. We just don't need all of them. Thanks for watching. I hope it was interesting, this one, and meet you next time. Bye-bye.